River dolphins are amongst the most endangered cetaceans in the world. Those living in South America are still surviving in higher numbers than many populations in Asia, but unfortunately there are very many threats to their future survival. And there are still emergency situations, and WDCS is dealing with a really severe emergency at the moment in Bolivia, a landlocked country in South America, where river dolphins are the only cetacean that exists in that country. And they're very special river dolphins because they're isolated from other South American river dolphins. So they are in fact a separate species, the Bolivian river dolphin. And our researcher Enzo Rosell has recently come across a very, very serious situation of 9 of these river dolphins. 2 of them are calves and 1 of them is a juvenile, trapped in a segment of river in Bolivia. Now, this is an area which has had very heavy deforestation, and it's now agricultural mainly. And at high water in the Amazon annually, where the water floods the land, the dolphins spread out. The habitat gets much bigger, and they enter lots of tributaries and channels and lakes that aren't there at low water. And unfortunately for these animals, the water levels fall very, very quickly during the dry season. And because unusually this particular piece of river, a lot of the water is used to water the crops in the area, the dolphins have been caught out. There's now 9 of them in a very restricted bit of river. The water levels are still falling. The fish available for them to eat are dwindling. And worse still, Enzo and his team have discovered that there are poachers in the area who are illegally fishing and will not think twice about killing a river dolphin, as they're seen as direct competitors for fish. So if they find dolphins, essentially sitting ducks in a restricted area, they will kill them. So we need to act fast, and thankfully we've already had some donations from WDCS supporters enabling us to get some money quickly to Enzo and his team. And he's spent the last 2 weeks evaluating the situation carefully and coming up with a strategy to rescue these animals. They need to be moved, and they need to be moved quickly and carefully to a much, much safer environment where they'll be free to roam in the river with plenty of fish supplies. Probably the biggest threat to their future survival is deliberate killing. Believe it or not, they are being hunted in their thousands. So the fishermen are using dolphin carcasses as bait. They lower them into the river, tied to a canoe or in a wooden cage, and that attracts hundreds and hundreds of motta in a very small space of time, so they can very efficiently and very effectively catch hundreds of these fish. Most of the fish isn't eaten in Brazil itself, but it's shipped to Colombia, which is the biggest market for the motta fish, and it's sold there in large tons and tons and tons. It's shipped there and it's sold in supermarkets, and the Colombian folk who are buying the fish in supermarkets have no idea that endangered animals, river dolphins, are being used as bait to catch the fish. So WDCS is working in the field with researchers and conservationists to evaluate the problem in different areas. We already have feedback that in one particular area in Brazil, 1,600 dolphins are being killed annually in just one place in Brazil. So the problem is huge and it's growing. We need to get an idea very quickly of the scale of it, and so we're working in the field to do that, interviewing fishermen and communities and trying to find out in more detail what's going on. We're also lobbying the Brazilian government and the Colombian government to take steps to stamp out this illegal activity before it's too late. I mean, this level of killing is not sustainable, and it will have a long-term impact on the future for river dolphins in South America. It's really that serious. So we're working at political levels as well as on the ground to try and get a handle on the situation and control it fast before it completely spirals out of control.